Take a look at this. So a lot of people were talking about Janet Jackson. And since we played the clip of, I'm not sure if everybody was on the show Friday. I believe on Friday we went over how Candace Owens is now investigating Kamala Harris's lineage. And she's calling out some stuff that Kamala may have lied about in her book and maybe exaggerating her blackness. I know being black is so in right now for Kamala, but apparently she may be misleading us a bit. So Candace Owens is looking into that. And as a lot of us know, if you're hiding something, Candace Owens is not the person that you want looking into it. She's not. If you're hiding something, Candace Owens is not the person that you want looking into it. So what happened was Janet Jackson made a statement and said that, oh, you know, I heard Kamala's dad was Irish. I didn't know she was black. I heard his dad was Irish. And a lot of black people came for Janet Jackson, and a lot of the Democratic pundits and everybody else came for Janet Jackson. And Candace didn't like that. So Candace started to look into it. So this next video that I'm getting ready to show y'all may be the reason behind all of this. Why Janet Jackson? A lot of people said, why would Janet Jackson come out and say that? Well, there's a little bit more into it. And this video is actually relative because it involves Trump as well. So shout out to Maya for sending this one over. Shout out to Maya for sending this one over. Let's take a look at this. Y'all tell me y'all thoughts.
In life, that could mean life in prison. And cases like this can depend on the testimony of the child accuser.
In general, the child will be able to recall and recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Jackson gave a wave when he was released after booking. He's scheduled for arraignment in January.
Michael's been a long-time resident of Trump Tower, and last night the Donald strongly reiterated his defense of Jackson with Larry King by going after the accuser's mother.
She's had plenty of experience at going after people, and she goes after them viciously and violently, and I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done, and I don't believe it.
But you know what it's like when an indictment comes down.
It's tough.
It's presumption.
It's tough. It's tough to win, but I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry. The interesting thing is I've known Michael from many different standpoints, and Michael would spend a lot of time with my kids. I have beautiful kids, and at the time, like at Mar-a-Lago, and even in Trump Tower, the kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child molester, and I am certain of that. He loved children. He'd play with my son Eric and my son Donald, and he'd just play with them forever. He loved children, but he was not a child molester. And, you know, that whole final saga.
That could mean life in prison. And cases like this can depend.
Kind of wild, right? That's kind of wild, right? I did not know that. So now it kind of makes sense. But the added element was Trump standing so firm in his support for Michael Jackson. So what I was thinking, I'm sitting here like, damn, you know, they go back and talk about what Trump did for the Central Park Five, but they never talk. And they say he hates black people. They blatantly lie and try to switch up his words for what he did with Charlottesville, or when he said with Charlottesville, with the very fine people on both sides, and said that he never condemned the white supremacy groups when he actually did do it. But the liberal news stations just decided to cut it off right before, in that same sentence or the next sentence, he said there were very fine people on both sides talking about the statue. And he said, I'm not speaking about the white supremacy groups. I totally condemn them. Made that very clear. But what did they keep doing? They kept spewing this propaganda to get us to hate Trump. They don't bring up the fact that Trump was the one that gave a lot of the money to support Jesse Jackson in his campaign running for president years ago. What is that, 30, 40 years ago? And they don't bring up this. Michael Jackson, that's one of our greatest, right? In the black community, right? We still claim him. We know he, bleached his skin a little bit, but we still rock with Mike, right? And look at how Trump was standing firm on his support for Michael. Does that not stand for anything? I don't know. But I'm just sitting here wondering why we're not seeing the big picture, because I've said it plenty of times before that out of nowhere, when Trump decided to run for president, all of a sudden black people don't like him. But before that, it seemed like black people love Donald Trump. When you hear Mike Tyson talking about him, when you hear all these celebrities, they say he's not racist. Like, what do you mean? I've been rocking with Trump for a very long time. The very people who call him racist were rocking with him. Oprah was rocking with him. She was a great friend of his. But that's just what happens. It just is what happens when you land on the other side of a particular fight or agenda or political campaign. So, I don't know. Oh, Uncompetitive wrote that Jackson had vitiligo, so he lightened his skin so it wouldn't look all blotchy. Is that for real? Hold up. See? This is just another example. When we don't get all the information, we see things through a particular lens. I grew up just thinking Mike just wanted to be white. He changed his nose to a more traditional white nose. He did all this stuff now. But if you're telling me something like that he wanted to prevent blotchy skin, then all right. But one more video that I want to show y'all. Ew, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.